Well, thank you so much for joining live stream. Today, I think that with this support of the app that we use, I think that I'm live streaming to both TikTok and YouTube, and then LinkedIn, and then Facebook at the same time. But just in case that I'm gonna start TikTok on other screen as usual, but I don't think that this is necessary. But just in case that I will. Yes, I think that I'm uh, doing live on both uh, channel, but it's kind of hard to tell whether I'm not able to see any comments with this join live stream. So just a little bit challenging. I'm facing technical difficulty. I said I need to end the live with other device. So for now, I'm gonna see whether I'm gonna no new comments. New comments will be displayed here, but I'm not able to see anyone. And then perhaps I will not do this join live stream. I will talk a little bit, and then I'm gonna change the format. So sorry that I'm just having a little bit of technical difficulty, and then we're gonna see this. Yeah, I think that I'm gonna activate TikTok. So just give me 1 second here. Yes. So although this new app seems to show me that I'm able to live stream at the same time, but unfortunately, it will be the separate one. So thank you so much for joining this live. I'm looking at the screen, two different screen. One is the main one is a YouTube, right? The main screen, and then also I'm looking at iPad for TikTok, users because I get a lot more, comments from here. So I'm gonna tell you this today. I'm gonna answer. Okay, I see here. Okay, yes. So Achida Diallo asked the question: How long does the K1 will take in 2025? Excellent question. I talk about this all the time. Many case types will be affected by the Trump's second term, but out of all this, the K1 will remain about the same. About the same. So right now K1 between the filing of 129F petition and then the foreign fiance U.S. entry, we're talking 6 months. I think that that's going to be the case unless Trump's second term is radically different than first term. Because out of all this, bans and changes and all this, the K1 was least affected by, affected during his first term. So that's my projection here. Now I'm looking at other screen. Um, I'm just both screens. So then Pablo Vargas. Um, there's okay. So then I'm looking at the different screens. So then Achida, you submitted your 129F petition in November 2024. So hopefully May of next year, right? Depends on where your fiance lives, right? It's gonna be about May. Just wonder where your fiance lives, right? If your fiance lives in Mexico, then it'll take longer. So switching to other question. So Pablo Vargas, your I-130 was submitted about 160 days ago, medical exam. Yeah, so looks like Pablo, but okay, so did you submit your 485 application as well? Because you mentioned only I-130. I assume that you submitted I-130 and 485 at the same time, and then you submitted medical exam later. Uh, Unfortunately, USCIS doesn't give you updates on, medical exam. It can be submitted request via request for evidence or proactively, but it's kind of challenging. But I will tell you this now. Going forward, going forward, you absolutely need to include 693 medical exam report. Otherwise, according to USCIS regulation, your application will be rejected. So number one, right? Even before Trump, now you absolutely need to include medical exam. So I'm just looking at this uh, notes and then questions over here, and also I'll look at other screen. But thank you so much for joining. So I started with some comments, and then I see a list of the questions and answer. Okay, I will do this. Today is the last day that I will be answering all the questions. I mean, they're all over the places. Starting next week, right after Christmas, 26, I'm gonna select the topic. So I'm gonna start with marriage green card cases. I have a very good news for you, and then I'm gonna make the TikTok and YouTube and then blogging, all this. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit. For those of you who enter the US with a J1 visa, right, letter J number one, and subject to 212E requirement, it means that you need to go back to your own country or need a waiver. The Department of State announced last Friday that about 30 countries off the list. So, for example, for those of you who are from Brazil, India, Colombia, right, Peru, China, South Korea, so many countries, you don't need a waiver. You don't need a no objection letter waiver or 612 exceptional hardship waiver to adjust your status, to change your status to H1B. Excellent news. Thank you so much, Biden and Department of State under his leadership. So I'm gonna talk about this more detail. So instead of answering all the questions, I'm gonna make some comments and then talk about the topics. And then it's gonna start with next Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Time. So the next one, I'm gonna talk about marriage green card case, and then I'm gonna rotate around the K1, humanitarian visa, asylum, Trump immigration. We're gonna do this cycle. So every week there will be updates. I'm gonna do some intro, and then in the middle I'm gonna talk like this, and then I will be answering relevant questions, not all questions, relevant questions on the topic. So then, for those of you who's not able to join this live stream, you'll be able to watch my videos and then have a better understanding, better like a topic to follow. Because right now, thank you so much for joining, but all the questions like all over the places, all over the places. By the way, circling back to Archida, your case went to California. I mean, that's usual destination, 129F. Our 129F went to California as well. And then, some of the recent ones took only 30 to 60 days to get approval. So going back to list of the question here. Thank you so much for asking question here. Okay, so then Ahmada, right, asked the question. So you got married to, so you entered the U.S. with F1 visa, and you got married to U.S. citizen, and then you'd like to know how long advance parole will take. Well, I mean, good point, right? So, but in advance parole right now takes between 6 and 12 months. Sometimes it's slower than green card. So right now under Biden, the cases takes about 6 months to get approval or schedule for interview. So advanced parole takes longer. So we don't include I-131 advanced parole with initial filing because you can do emergency advanced parole via InfoPass in person, same day approval, same day approval. So we don't include it. Okay, so not your friend, that's your name. You received I-130 petition for your wife and stepson back in May 30, 2024. How long does it take? Looks like your spouse and stepchild overseas, right? This is the CR1 spouse visa case. That takes about in like a 1 year 12 month and 18 month. Looks like that's your case, right? 12 and 18 month. So that's expected. Okay, and then snashy. Let me drink some water here. Okay, snashy. You filed your potential, looks like marriage green card case about 60 days ago. You didn't get a biometrics notice. That's unusual. That's unusual. Call the USCIS, or if you have a my USCIS account, check on your account, or you can do Emma, right? I mean, have you ever tried Emma, uh, like USCIS chat service? It's really good, really good. Emma is really good. So try that. Okay. Yeah. So then, Ashley Reed, looks like you're checking your case processing time via your My USCIS account, and then you will see that when you check the processing time through your account, say there is a 3 month, and then later 6 month, and then sometimes it's faster. I wouldn't follow that. I wouldn't follow that. I mean, if you live in California, New York, and Texas, and Miami, and then if the USCIS scheduled interview, it takes longer. But usually under Biden, it should be 6 months, whether you get approval based upon the paperwork that you submitted, or they will schedule interview for you. But obviously, if the USCIS like to schedule interview for you, then it's going to take longer in New York, Miami, Texas, and then California, because there's simply a lot more applicants than Midwest, right? The Chicago, Wisconsin, just 6 months or less. 6 months or less. Still, it's good. Still good. Okay, I'm just reviewing this list of the questions here. Uh, Sorry, I'm just scrolling down. I missed quite a bit of question here. Yeah, just a lot of scrolling back. Sorry. Yes, I caught up. Okay. So Ansa asked the question, right? If a child is born in the US, will this child US citizen? As of today, yes, regardless of parents' citizenship status. So if the child is born in the US, then answer is yes. But the Trump like to get rid of this birthright citizenship. So we'll see. But I don't think that it's going to happen. Yes. Mary Faye asked, how long does it take? How long K1 visa takes? And then I explain this to YouTube user Archida, and then TikTok user 6 months from the beginning to the end. And then when I say that our 129F petition with the California Service Center only took 30 to 60 days, it means that we're good. Our case is good. Doesn't mean that everybody will go this fast. And then also depends on relationship, right? So not all cases have a same relationship, but we're very good. We're one of the top K1 processing law firm in the US, so we're good. So we're fast. Okay, so let's review this. Okay, so DG Brill 37, you have a 601 case. So then when you are subject to inadmissibility, you need a 601. And then you mentioned I-130, 45. So the 601, okay, so I'll tell you this. 601, there's two different types. If you do consular process, it means that you have an interview overseas. Then you need to start this 601 waiver after interview. And then that usually takes 3 years. You mean the 601 waiver takes 3 years. But if you're adjusting your status, if you're inside the United States, and then you submitted I-130 and 45, and then the field officer who interviewed you say that you need a 601 waiver, then it takes less than 6 months to get approval in our cases. So adjustment of the status or domestic 601 faster, consular process 601, slower, 3 years. And then if you ever need attorney for 601 waiver or 601A waiver, then let us know. You see the phone number, and then we are exceptionally good with waiver cases. I'm scrolling here. So I don't know how to say your name, so I'm gonna El Kwai. Okay, sorry, butchering your name. Your priority date is a current from visa bulletin for 485. And then when should I contact USCIS? Um, you know what? When your priority date is current, and then if you are adjusting your status inside the United States, you can do it. You don't need to contact USCIS. They will not contact you. Now, in contrast, National Visa Center, if you go through consular process, will contact you that they're ready to process or your visa is current. So if you are doing adjustment of the status and you're inside the United States, and then perhaps you only file I-130 or I-140 petition, and then you think that you're ready to submit your 45, you just do it. No one's telling you. No one's telling you unless you have an immigration attorney. Yeah, Dresky say hello. Thank you for joining. Okay, and then you ask the questions. Okay. Okay, you said a Biden 2-year program. I'm not sure which one you're referring. Just you need to be more specific because I don't think that he introduced any 2-year program under his presidency. Okay. You mean Nicaragua, like a TPS, humanitarian parole? Is that what you're talking? Humanitarian parole is pause, and the TPS is a little bit up in the air. So for those of you who's on TPS, right? I'll tell you this: when the Trump was the president first time, he wanted to end the TPS, and it didn't happen. But he's gonna try it again. So if you happen to get married or thinking about getting married to U.S. citizen, this is the time you should do it right away. Okay, and Nike, you said my review is over 120 days. What should I do? So it can be your naturalization N400 or adjustment of the status. So when you go for interview, an officer will usually tell you that you need to wait 120 days to start contacting USCIS. So you can do EMA, right, online chat, or you can call USCIS because you waited 120 days. Hope that they approve your case fast. Okay, so Ahmada asked the question. So you got married to U.S. citizen, you have a marriage green card case, and then how soon you get work permit? Our cases now under Biden. By the way, we're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss Biden. We submit everything about between 30 and 60 days. Our clients gets work permit between 30 and 60 days of submission. Between 30 and 60 days, you get work permit. But doesn't mean that everybody will get this fast. Our case is fast. Okay, so Mac, you're a U.S. citizen, and then you got married to you got married to a foreign spouse. Okay, and then your spouse has a conditional residency, right? So just let us know what your question is and then how we can help you. So By the time the USCIS approve your case and you're married in less than 2 years, you get conditional residency, and you need to go through 751 within 90 days of expiration of the green card. Okay, so then Kings, you looks like you apply for marriage green card case on June 3rd, and then you didn't get work authorization, work permit. That's unusual. That's unusual. Just call USCIS or do EMA online chat. That's unusual. Or if you work with an attorney, talk to your attorney. That's unusual. It's just like to, I just hate to say this, but just you need to be more proactive. Proactive. Okay. So M Dana, I apply for 45 in March of 2023. How long does it take? Was it marriage based, CR6, or is your I-130 petitioner permanent resident, or is it based upon employment base? It's all different variation in terms of processing time. But if you file marriage base and then you apply in March 2023, it takes quite some time. The cases that went really fast happened this year, but previous one, 2023, it was slower. Okay, so apparently I miss a lot of. I didn't miss. I'm behind, so I'm scrolling quite a bit. Just be patient, okay? There we go. Yeah, Shinda asked the question. This is popular and then invalid question. So, is it safe to go overseas with a 751, which is a removable condition extension notice overseas? Answer is yes now. But under Trump, this is what happened during his first term. Conditional residents who went overseas with a 751 extension notice were given hard time. And then many times they call the US citizen and say, are you still together? Are you still married? All this. So just be aware. I will caution all conditional residents. After January 20th, your overseas trip will be very challenging. Just be aware. If you must go overseas, just go overseas now. Okay. Kumba asks if you have child over 21 years old, and then there is no additional question. So you're asking whether if your child is over 21 and U.S. citizen, whether your child may petition for you. Answer is yes, but you need a lot more details. If you need attorney, we can help you. We would be happy to help you, but we need more information. Yes, and then one of you asked, Shamfan asked whether we do adoption immigration. Answer is no. Sorry, we don't do adoption immigration. Okay. Yeah, so then Crystal, you file VAWA. I'm sure that you apply for 45 as well. And then you say you live in Texas, doesn't really matter in terms of processing time. You get work permit. Our cases, we submit everything VAWA and 45, and about 3 to 6 months later, our clients receive work permits. So they're still fast, but I'm not sure it's going to be fast under Trump. Okay, so then it's kind of hard to tell. KXM BAM said that you got married to permanent resident, and then you're living outside. How long does it take? 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years. It's called F2A, consular process, and it takes 3 to 4 years. And then you're in Caribbean island, not in Mexico or Pakistan, so it's a little bit faster. I would say normal, right? The Pakistan, Mexico takes longer. So then, yes, the kings. Okay, so you clarify. You you have I-130 on loan, right? Perhaps CR1 spouse visa. And the website. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't follow this. Like I said, CR1 spouse visa I-130 with the USCIS. It takes about 1 year, 1 year and 18 months. So you mentioned 49 months. No, no, I don't think that's the case. Yeah, so then Ahmada, I think that you may ask the same question. So marriage green card cases, right? It takes about 30 to 60 days to get work permit for our cases. Okay, so a lot of same questions here. Okay. So Mtana, okay, so your 45 is based upon asylee status. It means that your asylum application was approved. Congratulations. The 45 based upon asylum status, asylee, right? Takes between 6 and 1 year, 6 and 1 year, 6 months and 1 year, right? 6 months and 12 months. Okay. Yeah. So then, Kate Harris, you mentioned that your husband is on TPS, married to U.S. citizen, no criminal records. Is it difficult to get a green card? Depends on how your husband entered the U.S. If he enter with the tourist visa or any visa overstay and then hop onto TPS and has a work permit, then it's a marriage green card case. But if your husband enter without inspection or without admission or parole, and then he has a TPS only, then it can be rocky. So just call us, okay? We can assess your case. Okay, so Bidua, there is a there is a sad, uh, troubling speculation that even permanent residents are targets of Trumpian mass deportation. I disagree. I don't think that's the case. So let's talk about this. I mean, we didn't talk about Trump much. So the subjects of his mass deportations are those with final removal order. It means that you went through the removal proceeding and the court say that you don't have any way to stay in the US and then you need to depart the United States, but you chose to stay. When the government finds you with the final removal orders, you're subject to mass deportation, number one. Number two, you enter the US without any admission or parole within last 2 years. Within last 2 years, then you're subject to expedited removal. Expedited removal. Okay, and then you're not being placed into removal proceeding. You can be deported right away. So two. So these are the most common targets. Now, I mean, also you watch other TikTok and YouTube videos. I didn't make any of this. The Trump tried to denaturalize U.S. citizen, right? And then he's gonna do it again. But in terms of deporting permanent resident, that's like excessive. So I don't think that that's gonna happen. Okay. So once again, I'm not pronouncing your name. Pred. You married to U.S. citizen. You're a student in Texas, and then she works in Cincinnati. Can I proceed to file? So this is a good question. So you don't live together. Why? Because in this case, he goes to school and then his spouse work over in Cincinnati. Now, as long as your document in-person meetings, then you may. We have a lot of cases like this, but that's our cases. So no guarantee that this will work. But if you need an attorney, call us. We would be happy to help you. Okay, so um, thank you so much for joining this, live stream. Thought that I would be able to see all these questions, together, but unfortunately, that's not the case. But as I explained, that starting next Thursday, 26, instead of answering all questions, I'm gonna stay on the topic, which is marriage green card case now and under Trump, and then I will be answering questions on marriage green card case. So I'll do my best to answer, and then I'm gonna do intro, and then I'm gonna talk about the updates. I have a major updates, good ones. Then I'm gonna share, and that's the plan. But in the meantime, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and peace be with you. Thank you so much for joining this live.